Hi, this is Kim, and 2012. Is 2012 going to be the year of spiritual awakening, as what a lot of human beings have been waiting for? And so have I. I remember that I used to believe that 2012 would be the year of spiritual awakening, wherein those that were destined to spiritually awaken in this life would then be beamed up by the aliens. Obviously I believed it in a more metaphysical, beautiful way, wherein I, believed that I, as a being of light, because I had read the book of I think it was Barbara Melchizedek, about the Pleiadians, and in the book it said that whoever reads this book is a being of light and has found their spiritual path. And of course I was more than eager to believe that about myself, and thus I commenced my spiritual journey within my mind, within belief systems about myself as being a being of light, a warrior of light, as someone who is destined to bring the light into this world, because I had read that book, and because that book had told me pretty much exactly what I always wanted to hear, that I was a special being and I had a special purpose. My existence had a special purpose. Thus, I could feel good about myself. I could feel good about my life because I was special. And so I believed all of that until I came across Destiny and the message of self-forgiveness, which is the message of bringing yourself down from your pedestal and realizing that whatever pedestal you're on, it is self-created, and it's just not real, because you've created it yourself by participating in all these belief systems of things that you believe about yourself. But if you really have a look at it, those are things that don't actually came from yourself as a natural expression of who you are. They came from somewhere. For instance, the belief that I am a being of light came from those books that I had read. It was only when I had read those books that I started to believe that this feeling that I have within myself that I'm a special being is justified, because now I could place names and definitions on it. I could define myself as a special being, as a being of light, because I had read the book, and because the book told me that I'm a being of light. So now I'm a goddamn being of light, this is me, this is myself, when it isn't really. When I was born, was I a being of light? Did I think I was a being of light? Did I feel like a being of light? No, I didn't. I was just born, and the only thing I really wanted and expected when I was born was that I could live in this world, and that I would be able to actually just express myself in this reality. It was only after having lived a life of which I felt very unsatisfied and unpleased, a life full of fear with regards to money, survival, the point of living, the point of this world, having felt really unsafe, uncertain, afraid, tense, anxious, etc., that I started to search and desire for answers and solutions, for answers to why I'm experiencing myself the way I am. And I started to desire higher feelings, to basically suppress those lower feelings as fear and anxiety and tension. So that's what I realized during by participating in the process of self-forgiveness and self-honesty. I have had to come to terms with myself in self-honesty, being honest with myself about who I am and who I've always allowed myself to be and what I've allowed myself to participate in, which is basically lies. I mean, I've basically been lying to myself by believing that, for instance, I'm a being of light and that I'm on a spiritual quest and that I have a special purpose on this earth, because that's like knowledge and information that I've simply adapted and copied from books that I read, which has nothing to do with who I actually am. It's just something I wanted to believe. It's something I like believing in. But it's not reality. So, is 2012 going to be the spiritual awakening of mankind? Most likely not. Because the spiritual awakening in itself is not real. It's a lie. Sorry. So all those people believing themselves to be spiritual people and being on a spiritual journey, or being a being of light, or a light warrior, whatever names you want to put on it, which is a lot of beings. I would suggest to really just take a look inside yourself. And, don't participate in these thoughts about yourself, these definitions about yourself as who you believe yourself to be based on what a book has told you. Which, it's not who you really are, because it's just words that came from, because words always come from somewhere else. So it's not who you are, obviously. And to investigate destiny, because their message is actually something that is worth considering, and that will actually give you a practical solution to yourself and to life. Because, even in the spiritual journey, and even when I was presenting myself as a spiritual person and as a being of light, I still needed my environment to see me as a being of light, to recognize me as a being of light. And there was still this feeling, this experience within myself that, like, this isn't quite it. Like, I don't know. There was still this uncomfortable feeling inside myself, even no matter how much I tried to really be a spiritual being and all that. Yeah. So, the process of self-forgiveness is actually a very interesting process to really get to know yourself and really get to know who you are for yourself, without having someone else tell you who you are, but you discovering for you yourself, which is very, very interesting. Okay, so it's suggested to not wait for 2012, wherein everyone will apparently spiritually awaken, because how is that ever going to happen when the spiritual awakening isn't actually real in the first place? It's a belief. It's something that is just, when you believe in it, you make it real. It's simple. Just stop believing in it, and then it's just not real anymore, obviously. Alright, thanks.